So this video was longer time coming. Um, seriously. You know, I haven't said anything and I'm already laughing because what we're going to be talking about is comedy, man. It's pure comedy. You already read the title, so you already know what the video is about. We're talking about the thirst, mate. We're talking about the thirst that exists on the internet. We're talking about it in all manifestations, on Instagram, on Twitter, my free cams, I guess maybe Tumblr. I don't know very many thirsty niggas that hang on Tumblr, but yeah, you probably could find some considering the amount of porn that's on Tumblr. Brothers, oh yeah, Reddit is a good place too, where you can find these men, even on YouTube as well, man. We're talking about the thirst, and how the thirst, more than anything else, honestly, is one of, probably if not 60% of the problem that comes to a lot of the issues that we deal with when it comes to attention whores on the internet. See, interesting thing, I made lots of videos talking about attention whores, and I'm going to get back into the attention whore chronicles very soon. Excuse me. The reason why I held back on the 5th episode of the attention whore chronicles for a couple of years now, actually, was one, I just kept forgetting about it, to be totally honest. But two is actually more important, because I was actually waiting to see the particular attention whore that I will cover the episode on. I was waiting to see like where her cap was, and every time, and this is why the episode kept getting pushed back, every time I was going to sit down and make the video, she would always just raise her cap, always raise her cap. But I'm pretty sure her cap is at its highest now. I don't think there's not much else she can do now to where I'd have to like addend on the episode. So episode 5 of the Attention Whore Chronicles will be coming out very soon. Okay, I promise you guys, it's coming. It's gonna be out. Okay, so the reason why it's very easy to talk about attention whores, mostly because there's a face to them, and that's why a lot of the videos I've made in the past when it comes to the subject matters of thirstiness has focused on the woman, because a lot of women always do like outlandish things, usually to gain the attention of men, and it's very easy to see. It's very easy to see the insecurity of women and talk about that, which is why they've always been the focus. You know, like with Alinity, like the last 2 videos I've made with Alinity, there's a face to her stupid nonsense. You know what I mean? But to a lot of the thirsty men that are commenting on these pages, all you have are really like usernames. You don't really know these people, but you can get a generally good idea of who they are as men. And that's what we're really going to talk about today, because they are a major source of the issue when it comes to just like attention whoring on the internet. They are the currency that these women are using in order to validate themselves and literally just get money to just finance their existence. You know, so I guess I have a really tough time kind of structuring this video on like what's more important than the other. So this video, in terms of importance, kind of being like all over the place. It's not least important, most important. It's just, you know, talking about the chicanery that is thirstiness on the internet, because on one part I empathize with these men, truly I do, but on another part they're so pathetic that it's very tough for me to respect them, and because they're a part of the problem, I kind of want them to like cease and desist, you know. So what am I talking about specifically, because I've been kind of vague, right? Well, here's the thing, no matter the attention whore you have, there's always going to be some followers. Now, lots of people call the friend-zoned guys, or the men that hover around women like in real life, beta orbiters. And the reason why they're called orbiters is because these men will exist around the woman, usually to give her praise and adulation, and to listen to her problems and give her emotional support. So this man exists in between the state of being a boyfriend and just being a regular, you know, friend that you just spend time with. They're kind of in that middle ground where they just kind of orbit in between there. Like they stay around the girl. They don't branch. And so here's the logic behind it, because the reason why they're called orbiters is because these men, they don't branch off and to go talk to other women and be friends with the girl. They're stuck on the one girl. They give all their time and attention on that one girl. And because oftentimes there's more than one man, they're called orbiters, because there's more than one man focusing on one woman, giving her a bunch of attention. And this can happen in real life, which is usually when people are referring to beta orbiters, this is what they mean. Weak, effeminate, weak-willed men that are hoping, some of them at least, are hoping that they can get into a relationship with the woman if they spend enough time with her. That's a level of thirstiness that we're going to discuss today. But the thing about it all is that when we're talking about like the expanded form of beta orbiting, we're talking about like the virtual orbiting, as in like the men who will go into like my free cam chat rooms, the men that hang out on Instagram or like cruise on Instagram or whatever, and will just drop like the thirstiest commentary you would ever see. They're just praising these women, literally just for their mere existence because they are beautiful. See, and here's the thing. And the reason why, I guess maybe I'll start off with this. The reason why I can empathize with the men, at least that spend money on women, in the cam chat room thing. The reason why I can kind of understand that to a certain degree, is because a lot of these times I realize that these men are lonely, and they probably never have really gotten a lot of attention from women. At the very least, when you're spending money on a cam whore, there's a guaranteed chance that at some point, depending on how much money you spend, she's going to pay attention to you. And while I understand it cognitively, like mentally, there's of course the other layer where it's just like, nigga, you just go outside. You can go outside and spend your money on a woman you can actually meet and talk to, rather than some woman that really does not care about you. Because this is what makes it sad. This is the triple double layer of sad patheticness that this shit is, okay? And this is equal parts on the whore's fault. Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about cam whores in general, but we're talking about the orbiters right now. But the thing about the whoredom, about the whore on the virtual whore and the orbiter or the financiers, is the fact that it's a purely mechanical relationship that is created by taking advantage of lonely men, that purely hinges on the most baser lizard instincts of human beings. And I guess that's a lot of fluffy language. Basically what I'm saying is they whittle down the relationship between man and woman to its most, what's the word I'm looking for? Its most basic literal transaction. I give you money, you give me sexual satisfaction. That would be literal prostitution. But the extra layer is because it's virtual, you don't ever actually get the actual sexual satisfaction of a man. You just get the financial provider aspect of a man. So you're financing and providing for a virtual woman. She's actually real, but I mean, you've never met the bitch before, so you're financing a woman and you're getting all this praise and adulation from her, and it only appeals to the pure sad ego of just never having that attention from a woman before. And this is why on one part I empathize with these men. On the one part I get it. Because with a webcam model, at the very least, you get something back, and it's empty platitude. It's always empty platitude. Because let's be real, you know, I know, you can't be special to this woman. You can't be, nigga. If she's in a chat room with 100 guys and you giving her $50, the next guy just gave her 500, nigga, you ain't special. You not. Just is the one who pays the most money. He is the special of that hour until another guy spends even more money. So really, you know it and I know it. And that's what really makes it so sad, is because we all know that you're not special. But because this beautiful woman has just given you just a tiny little bit of attention, she just validated you just a little bit. It gives you just enough. It's like the little salt of attention that you get from a pretty woman is what carries you over to continue to be stuck in this loop of giving your money to a woman that doesn't know who you are, nor genuinely cares about you in general. Because unless you're actually having like these deep conversations with the woman, unless you're actually like genuinely having a small time chat with this woman, she really doesn't know you and really has no more reason to care about you apart from the fact that you putting food on her table. That's really it, man. Like she cares about you in the same way someone at a grocery store at a cash register cares about you giving them money, nigga. Like how was your day? Oh, my day was fine. All right, that's it. They don't think about you at night. You know what I mean? Like the person at the cash register doesn't go home like, man, I wonder if he had a good day today. Saw he bought a new God of War. I wonder if he's having fun with that. No, nigga, like they go home and then they go deal with whatever else in the world they're dealing with. So I mean, again, like the reason why I empathize with them is I can see that they're lonely and I can see the pain of the loneliness. But at the same time, intellectually, I realize it, and I know they have to realize it too, is that bruh, man, you spending a lot of money and providing for a woman that doesn't care about you, like that you mean nothing to. You're a wallet to her, and I don't know, man. I think it's rough. I think it sucks. And my hope here, actually, in this first section of the video, is to just try to, hopefully, if you don't realize, like, if you're a man and you have spent a lot of money on these women in order to get a sprinkle of attention for them for all the 5 minutes, my brother, you have to chill out with that, because you're not special to her, man. And I know it's a rush of adrenaline, and it makes you feel good. It's a certain ego boost to have some cute chick, you know, say your name or your username after you've given her $500, but gotta be real about it, man. You're not special. And that's one thing that really bothers me about the chicanery that is these thirsty men. I empathize with the guys on the My Free Cams. I despise the men on Instagram and Reddit and Twitter and those guys. Like, those thirsty jackasses really upset me to the umpth degree, because it's not enough that they say like the most outlandish, nastiest shit to get this woman's attention. And it's not really even that like it's nasty that gets me. It's just the fact that they put so much weight on a pretty woman that is totally devoid of personality. Because there's two layers to this. There's layer one, that like, if these men are, they'll be like, man, like, I'll give up my left testicle just to sniff a fart, like that outlandish shit. Like, let's take it literally for a second. It's probably not supposed to be, but let's say the point is, it's a mechanism, or it's a metaphor, not even a metaphor, you know, but it's an outlandish statement to convey how desperate they want to have sex with this woman. And it's like, well, how does this woman mean this much to you, nigga? Because she's pretty. Like there's no real value to her as a person apart from the fact that you can just have sex with her. And excuse me, if you realize that her only value is one of sexuality, if you realize that is the only thing that this woman has to offer, why is there such a hyper defense for her bullshit? Because this is what really irks me about a lot of these guys. It's not just that they're desperate. It's that whenever anyone else comments and says, you know, man, honestly, like, this is some silly shit, lady, you put some clothes on, go do something else, they will come down with the force of Zeus to rain lightning and flame upon any nigga that just insults their queen, that just says just the tiniest little hint of thing. Now, this is just Instagram. This happens on YouTube too, by the way. Man, woe and betide a man that like this like, the anti-feminist men are not protected from this. Woe and betide the man that says something negative about June or Shoe on Head. Like, what? The shit you will get for insulting the queen, the empress. I haven't seen shit from June in quite a while. I mean, I don't know if men are still like this about June, but I imagine that they would be. The ultimate point that I make, I started talking about Instagram, but this is something that just is a huge barrier to entry. Not barrier to entry, but just a huge barrier to the criticism of women, is these thirsty guys who are not only desperate to get these women's attentions, but will defend any horrible action that these women take, and will defend the stupid shit that they do, all just so they can just masturbate to the woman. Like, that's the thing that's, like, it's not even a genuine defense. It's like they're just trying to protect their ability to just whack off to them. Like, they don't want you to hurt the woman's feelings because you're gonna cut off their supply. So they're the most slimy of the slimy men. They are the most lizard snakes of lizard and snakes. Because on the one hand, they just want to masturbate to these women. They don't care about the women anymore, like their mental health, who they are, like, because you gotta take this into consideration. If a woman is getting naked on the internet, she's not mentally healthy. She is not. There is something wrong there. Let's be real. If a woman is masturbating on My Free Cams, something happened in her life that got her to that point, and we all know that she did not, as a child. Right now, when she was in school, her teacher did not read her essay like, oh, when I grow up, I want to get naked on camera and masturbate for men I don't care. What? That was not what she aspired to be as a child. So for a woman to get there, or there's some indication that there's something wrong with her. That's just point one. But point two, the thing that gets me about these thirsty niggas is they defend these women solely just so they can keep getting their masturbation material. Like, they don't care about who these women are, like their mental health, who they are as people, how they came to be in this way, like helping them out in any regard. The only reason they defend them whenever someone criticizes them is just so they could keep masturbating to them. So you're slimy in the sense that you just look at this woman as a masturbation tool, but you're even more slimy because you just want to defend the fact, like, you don't even actually care about the criticism. Ironically, half the time I'm sure these men who are so thirsty actually agree, but because they're so desperate and just lack the attention from females and just lack whatever sexual like tension that they have built up, it completely overrides any other mental faculty, and they'll just allow these women to say and do the most outlandish, nastiest, stupid shit just so they can keep giving money to them. Look at Alinity, for example, by the way. Look at Alinity, for example. The video I just made recently. Marries a Canadian to get Canadian citizenship and divorces him. Now, of course, he divorced him for a reasonable reason. He cheated on her. But, I mean, the fact remains, when she posted that video, when she said what she said, it looked pretty unmistakable that she was just, taking advantage of the Canadian system. But, of course, the thirstiness doesn't care, man. It doesn't bother these guys, man. And Alinity she's a pretty shitty person just in general, but there's always going to be someone to defend her shittiness. Why? Just so they can masturbate to her. And it's very interesting to me that these men are just triple layers of just slime balls, man. So I think another thing that really gets me, though, about what makes these men so sad and kind of irksome to me is the outlandish amounts of money that they give to these women too, because this is something that this is more like a purely logistical, logical thing to me, more so than any like emotional value or like spiritual value. And that is, there's lots of money given to lots of these women just for their attention, when ironically, maybe ironic is not really the word, but when realistically these women don't really have anything special or interesting to offer. Because it's like, you pay a woman to get access to her Snapchat, right? But then she'll post the same pictures on Twitter. So, nigga, what? You could have got what you got on Snapchat for free on Twitter, nigga. You know what I mean? The amount of free pornography that exists on the internet is just absurd. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We have enough porn. We have so much porn that if one man was to sit down and try to consume all of it from start to finish, he'd die before he gets halfway through. And more porn is being produced every day. Nigga, why are you paying this empty, shallow girl $40, $50, $80 for her private Snapchat so she can look in the mirror and kiss at the mirror and whatnot and say, have a nice day, and go... Like, what are these women doing? And the thing that's interesting to me is that these women, they're not even doing anything interesting or extravagant or going places. They're not doing anything interesting. They're not doing anything worthy of value or praise or adulation. And yet, they get buckets of money from these men that are just so desperate to have a woman stroke their ego, so desperate to have some type of sexual attention from a woman that it doesn't matter. And what makes it so sad is the fact that if they had mastered themselves, if they master this desire and this lust and channeled it into actually getting into a relationship, all of that money could be actually used to finance a wife or a good woman to be in a relationship with. Or, alternatively, he could be like, I don't want any relationship at all, and then channel that money into his own shit and make his own life better, instead of giving it out away, just giving free money away to a woman who just sits in a chair and pushes her breasts up, or just sits down and masturbates. You gotta keep this in mind, that these women are being financed to exist. These thirsty men are protecting these women. These sad, and this is what makes them villains, because they're not heroes. Again, I empathize to some degree, but that doesn't make, they're still villainous, because these women are terrible people. A lot of the time, they're terrible fucking people. They're just shitty individuals. They're just not only shitty in personality. Some of them are actually really nice people. But whatever is going on mentally, whatever is going on up there, that has dropped their self-esteem to such a disgusting degree, these men will finance these women and their self-mutilation, because that's what it is a lot of the time. These women aren't happy with their lives. These women didn't aspire to be like this, and guess what? These men will finance that shit and protect it and defend it just so they can masturbate. Woe and betide that they could have just gotten that shit for free from some other woman. Let's do this for the cam whore. Let's do this for the thought on Twitch. Let's do this for the girl on Twitter and whatnot. And it's very interesting to me that they will pretend like, and that's another thing that irks me. It's just they pretend to be these virtuous white knights that just want to protect these women. They just pretend like, no, you can't say anything mean or bad to them. You're gonna mess up my masturbation supply. You gotta be kidding me, man. They will defend these women all just so they can keep masturbating to them. Like they're heroes, man. Like they're heroes, and be self-satisfied with themselves as they give this woman $500 for her to exist on camera and say, hi daddy, whatever shit that they do, whatever nonsense that these women do. And I don't know. It's very hard for me to respect them. And what really bothers me is the fact that, again, they are 50% of the problem, if not 60%. Because they finance these women. Like, they don't challenge these women to aspire to be better in their lives. They let these women sink in their mediocrity, so they just exist and be, and they are a huge issue. And I guess in this video I've kind of focused on like the men who are giving money on like Twitch, and the men who are giving money in like webcams and whatnot. Like, they are the ones that are just like, they're the one literally financing it. But the guys on Instagram that are just thirsty to just a ridiculous degree, who just form a barrier of just lack of criticism for these women and their behaviors, and will defend these women who just do these shitty, terrible things. They are some of the most vile people just in general, because they don't care about they only care just about just their cummies, man. You really got to think about just how much of a lizard these guys really are, and they just only care just about squirting their cum on the computer screen to just some broken woman that's just all kinds of levels of fucked up. And it's just this huge cycle, because even then the women themselves, they're equally as manipulative. It's just these nasty manipulative people just manipulating each other, and they're just cycling and just out of control. It's fun. I don't know, when you think about it, when you remove all levels of like caring and feeling and wanting people to, like, it's a perfect system for manipulators and nasty people to be in. But when you start thinking about like if these are human beings, then it becomes sad. So if you just look at it as comedy, like, these people deserve each other. But at the same time, it's some really sad shit, man. And I don't think any man should really be trying to put any amount of financial backing into any woman that's just gonna like wave at him on Snapchat or whatever. A lot of times the money spent is just not even worth it, just in general. So I mean, I'm going to leave the video off here. There's a lot more to be discussed. I'll probably be able, like, in the future, we'll revisit this topic, and with some more examples of really highlighting and showing just the chicanery of a lot of these thirsty men, and just how they really need to take a chill pill. And really highlighting maybe the more empathetic men, because I think maybe I'm really harsh on a lot of them, but some of them are just lonely. And maybe I can differentiate between the lonely men and the fucking lizards, you know, so... Again, I'll revisit this topic probably with more information in the future. You know, that being said, man, I just know you guys got something out of this video. Hopefully, you guys thought the commentary was hilarious. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. And I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.